Welcome to ModCast, an official podcast of Apolyton Civilization Site.
Wouter Snijders,
Kenneth Ferland,
Tony Kiehl,
Oscar Velsi,
with guest co-host
Refar. Okay, what episode is it now? We're on
14.
Thank God we got through 13. 13 was rough.
Yeah. How's the editing going on that one?
It'll be done probably tomorrow for you.
Oh, okay. You are
Sweet,
able to
sweet.
make any sense of my feed?
Not really. I just made up stuff, and I do my accent impersonation of you where you don't make sense. So oh, Tony, that's not a very good idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
Why do I have an Austrian accent?
That's not Austrian, if I...
Well, at least it's not Russian.
Hey, well, at least it wasn't Russian.
Yeah. Welcome to ModCast, episode 14. Today, we are joined with Wouter, Locutus, Snijders,
All the way from Austria.
Kenneth, Impaler, WRG, Ferland,
Megathosters are go!
me, Tony, GarretSidzaka, Kiehl, as usual, and with special guest co-host, Tim, Rough High, Pratt.
G'day, guys. I was going to say something about the width, but I just couldn't wrap my brain around it.
Tony special.
Oh,
Well, first off, I have to ask you, Ruff, where are you again in the world? Because you sound...
Australian or Austrian.
Where am I
Austrian, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm in New York.
New
New
York.
York's
Okay.
the
No, for some reason you sound just like Dale.
That's pretty good because I actually spent 20 years in Sydney.
Ah, excellent. Okay. I knew it. I knew it. Australian accent.
Yeah, that was kind of hard not
He's an
to
Aussie.
notice.
At heart. Say crikey. Say
He's an
crikey.
Aussie trapped in New York. It sounds like a good movie title.
I think they already made that movie.
And every Australian suffered from then on.
Yeah.
I want crikeys. Give them to us.
We'll get a crikey out of him during the
Now, all I say is g'day.
G'day. G'day's pretty good. We'll get a crikey out of him later, though.
It's no good without a mate after.
Okay, g'day, mate.
Okay, I'm satisfied now. And today in the Code Corner, we reviewed the Conqueror's Delight mod by Dom Pedro II.
Today, in the artist Sketchpad, we talked about the Survivor's Urban Crossbowmen by Refar, the Pegasus Nightmare Horses by The Coyote, the Zombies by seZereth, and the World War II Anti-Tank Infantry by Bernie 14.
Okay, in the spotlight we talked to Rough High about his bug mod, and also a little bit about that, I guess. Welcome to the Code Corner, where we discuss Python and SDK mods.
We've got a little bit of code, a little delight that you picked out for us.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Who else? Who else is
Oh,
a
yeah.
coder here?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, not paying attention.
Yeah.
You guys are going to get me killed by calling it my Batmog. My Batmog.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's okay.
And today we reviewed a Starship Troopers mod. No.
Now, you have a little delight for us here, Ken, I believe, for code. The code gentleman you are.
Okay, today in the Code Corner, we are looking at Dom Pedro's Conqueror's Delight mod. Okay, this one is still work in progress. He's posted just here, like the very beginning of July. It's a huge set of new attributes for promotions, from which you can make your own cool-looking promotions. I mean, he hasn't provided the promotions, he's provided the code and the XML, so you can start plugging the numbers in. And there's, at least like 20 different variables added, so you can do a straight strength increase, invisibility, different feature attack from bonuses, like you get first strikes when attacking into a particular terrain, things like this, all very complex. Some really nice ones here, original ones too. Air bomb range change, so it's like changes the bombardment range of a unit.
So you can increase it.
Not just the unit itself, but it increases that of the friendly units in the same stack. So you'd have like Air Tanker, which has the extended range modification for other air units in the same stack, and then it makes the other air units in that same city fly further.
One thing I noticed that I really liked is he added something called puppet states. Now, this is really, really cool. If you
Yeah, that's another one. That's really nice.
Yeah, if you conquer, he also did a little interface all over changes, but if you conquer a city, not only does it give you a little bit of science sometimes, but sometimes, like, you have the, yes, I want to install a new governor, no, burn, baby, burn. But then you have a third tab that now says, form a whatever your country is, state in whatever city you just burned.
Yeah, so you set up a puppet regime. It's just so
that is
clever.
so f***ing awesome.
Would that person just be a vassal, or is it different from a vassal?
It's like a vassal, but you make your own.
Yeah, you make it a vassal. It's a vassal of you.
You spin them off as a colony sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you're spinning a colony off of someone else, not your own people.
Kind of like American foreign policy.
Yeah, it says you can only spin off one vassal for each state you're conquering. So if I'm state A, I'm conquering state B, anything I spin off is always going to be the same vassal state. Well, I mean, if I conquer one city and conquer another one, they're just...
That's what I wanted to know, because if this pops up, every city would create a new civ for every city, but obviously he took care of that. This sounds like a lot of fun.
But if you go to a third civ that you start beating up, so say you're Germany and you start beating up the French, you get the Vichy French government, but if you conquer another state, they're the Vichy Poland government or something. You know, so it's a different one for each one.
So you could go and wipe out a civ and just convert, say, Germany to France.
Well, no, it'll be a vassal state.
Or do you change the...
Yeah, but a vassal state,
so
you've totally replaced Germany with France, effectively.
Oh.
But they would be your vassal.
Yeah.
You mean you've replaced France with Vichy France?
So you basically redo all your neighbors into your vassals the hard way, and you know, because normally in Beyond the Sword, to vassalize someone, you have to basically crush them to 80% destroyed.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous if you ask me. They're like, no, we're down to one city. We refuse to submit. You know, it's like, I've got tanks surrounding your spearmen. You know, like, come on. But hey, they're like, hey, we got a good chance. You know, these spearmen, you know.
But this one, you can start your whole conquest from the beginning. One city at a time, creating your own vassal. That's sweet.
Yeah, and I bet these vassals, and because conquered cities are just so useless most of the time, they have such unhappiness, and the culture influence is terrible, because the culture of the still unconquered cities just totally overwhelms them.
Yeah.
And they have no workable tiles, and then the city just starves. It's like, those suck. So I hope they retain enough culture that they actually can work some area around them.
Well, yeah, that'd be interesting. They need to have some culture retention.
Okay, what was the other cool one? He added mercenaries. You can exchange and sell mercenaries in diplomacy, which is awesome. I don't know how he did that, because I've never known.
Because no one really knows how to modify the diplomacy. Yeah. Does he add AI for all this stuff?
He says he doesn't have AI yet for this mercenaries effect. The puppet states, I would assume he's done something there. But does he say anything?
Well, it's a work in progress, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the AI should choose the puppet state. It looks like it's one of the better options, if you ask me.
Yeah. I think the puppet state is definitely something that needs to be in Civ 5 instead of vassalization. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Why not both? And he's got a few other things here for naval units. Barbarian pirates are increased. Ships now have supply lines. Ships can either be Ships can be given a maximum supply range. Ships with coastal supply must end their turn next to a land tile or else suffer supply damage. I guess they weaken. The supply range have to be within range of a friendly city. This includes vassals. At the end of the turn, they will suffer supply damage. If a ship with a supply range is flagged as requiring a certain resource, they must be within the maximum range of a friendly city that has that resource.
That's kind of rough, actually. I don't know. That sounds interesting, but, you know...
It depends on what he sets the ranges as.
A modern nuclear submarine can go around the world 12 times.
Well, I would give that, unlimited range.
Yeah, it can go. It makes its own air and water, and it just needs food.
It needs uranium. That's about it.
Well, I'm sure they got enough uranium to destroy every city on the planet on those things.
Well, I think they actually only change the uranium in a nuclear sub every 10 years. It lasts that long.
So 10 years of launching ICBMs, not bad.
No, not the missiles, but just the power plant. To actually run
but they just have to get new missiles and more food.
Okay. Wait a minute, can't they eat seaweed?
Well, see, I don't know
Like
if they have
Jules
machinery to, like, open up and absorb. That'd be cool if they could just, like,
Yes, like
put
a
it out
giant
and
door
catch all the
opens up at the front
biological.
and it scoops up seaweed and fish.
And then they convert it into, like, hot dogs.
More like fish sticks.
So that'd be like a ramjet somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah! But it's the humans that are absorbing all of the nutrients from the sea. So we could have, people just live underwater forever. Okay, off topic.
Okay.
Just
He
like
says he's created natural harbors on the map that will flag a city as having a harbor immediately. So, like, you can actually... The harbor is right there on the map for you. You build on it, and it's like, wham, free harbor.
That's good, because if you have, like, I've always seen those little nice coves,
Yeah.
That's good. That's kind of cool. So I like anything that adds to the map. I think that anything that adds to the map...
Yeah, and it really encourages you to found a coastal city on that location for, with the immediate effects.
Yeah.
Which is really quite accurate, too, since...
Which will be interesting, too, is if the coastal city resource or terrain-wise isn't so good, you normally would just ignore it. But now, a nice coastline, even if it's a desert, you want to build there for that harbor.
I wouldn't build in the middle of a desert just to get a harbor.
Yeah.
It'd be cool, because I live in the middle of a fucking
Yes,
desert,
but
man.
it's not a harbor.
Have you noticed any natural harbors around you, Tony?
Well, no, I mean, maybe if California sinks into the ocean, there might be. We can always hope.
Like, take down in Baja, the only reason they have anything down there is because they have resorts where the harbors
There's a guy
are.
in the Baja that is building islands, and he's man-made islands that are big enough. They float on the water, and they're big enough to put hotels on.
Sweet!
Some
I'm going to go on vacation on the floating hotel.
shack somewhere in the Middle East decided he wanted enough islands to spell out some word from space. So this guy's building him islands that spell out some sort of word from space.
I think that's in...
Yeah, that's a little bit too
I
much
think it's in
money.
No, I
Dubai.
heard it on a podcast somewhere, so it must be
It
true.
must be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be. Podcasts are the only way to get reliable information on anything.
True.
Indeed they are. In the Artist's Sketchpad, we discuss graphics and artwork from the modding community.
We have some great artwork today. Some of which I believe I picked out and some Ken picked out, but some cool, like all the big artists in Civ are doing the post-apocalypse artwork, so...
I think that's really great. It's like they're all like, oh my gosh, this mod is so cool, I must get my artwork in it.
Exactly. So we have here Survivor fighters with crossbows, and these guys are like wearing bulletproof vests and jeans, but they've got big ass crossbows and they're fighting the...
Yeah. This is the only thing I don't like about it, is that the crossbow looks like it's made of wood, whereas like I would make my crossbow in the post-nuclear apocalyptic future out of like plastic or something.
Or like scrap metal.
Yeah, plastic and scrap metal. I wouldn't just like, oh, I'm going to make this out of wood.
Well, they probably just nabbed the medieval crossbow, but that's fine. That's
it's the Chuck and No crossbow.
yeah.
Is what it is.
And look at these guys' clothes. Look at the
yeah, I love the
texture.
clothes. The clothes
They're
are great.
lumberjacks.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
No, they're
The lumberjacks.
on.
They don't look. They look more like redneck
yeah,
tire professionals.
yeah. They look more like King of the Hill.
It's all, hey there, son. Now go grab your crossbow. We're gonna go hunt and lust some punks.
So you guys would have more experience with that than I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Australia. Now you just say crikey for us, will you?
Did you notice that they've got a new tech up on the top screen there on the first page?
Yes, I did.
Look at the
They
tech
do have
on
a new
the
tech.
top right. Is that new? That green one?
Yeah, that's
the little
new.
green
That's new.
icon with the stick in it. Looks like
We don't know what it is.
it's probably a new tech for the mod. It's like
This one's gonna be
sharp
fun.
stick technology. Yeah.
Yes. We must use a new sharpened stick and unlearn the gunpowders of the past. Well, with no factories to build guns and bullets and gunpowders, guns are eventually going to be doomed.
No, they make guns in non-factory situations all the time.
Yeah, but remember in Fallout?
They make guns in Afghanistan.
But remember in
for God's
Fallout,
sakes.
what was the first gun you get in Fallout 2? It's a pipe gun. It's a homemade gun. And it was the most crappiest gun.
Homemade
It was
gun.
the
Homemade gun
crappiest piece of
certainly
crap,
was.
breech-loading 9mm.
But with you get yourself molds made from, like, you could take an existing gun and basically reverse engineer it, make the molds for all the parts, and then
But
make
with
one.
nothing, everything's nuked. Have you seen this guy's buildings in his mod? Everything's busted.
Yeah, well, that would make it about on par with Afghanistan. And
Okay,
they know
so
how to
it
make an
goes-
AK-47 in Afghanistan from raw metal. I mean, they literally melt down a hub tire,
That's messed up.
and make an AK-47 out of it. Yeah, I saw it once in a documentary.
Oh, well, that means it's
So,
true.
not that hard.
Means it's true.
Must be true. Must be true.
Documentaries do not lie.
If the documentary has a podcast, it's true.
Well, it probably was. I mean, if it's not,
Then it would be double plus true.
it's like a TV version of the podcast.
Do they call it like a T-cast?
A T-cast. That's what they call
A
it.
TV cast?
TV cast. We
Okay.
also have, I believe one of the, well, I think the guy in the post-apocalypse mod was like, I want horses that attack you. He wants
That's a little odd.
horses that are vicious, angry horses.
Oh, this is the
Yeah.
Pegasus nightmare?
We call this one Widowmaker, If you can ride her, she's yours,
Someone released it, the roaming horses, Refar did, and he animated a horse to attack. So now, the Coyote naturally did the next step and made Pegasi and Nightmares, which of course Nightmares are devil horses with red eyes and burning feet, and the Pegasus is our flying horse.
Yeah, and their manes are made of fire, I think. They breathe fire.
But the Pegasi, you want to capture the last one and name him something.
Then fly him up to Mount Olympus. So then he crossed the two to make flying nightmares, which are just even more nightmarish than regular nightmares.
Yeah, these ones actually fly. And you see, I love this screenshot of the Pegasus. In the top left is a dead Pegasus in front of a tank. I'm like, that's so messed up. I killed one of my horses with the tank.
Obviously wanted to show the Pegasus versus Spearman angle.
Yeah, pretty much. But this is a very cool little unit, and we didn't have much animals fighting in Civ, but the vanillas and maybe Fall from Heaven, So, cool.
I wonder what the wing animations on this look like. Because, if you ask me, the wings could have been a little done a little better. They look like they fold partially halfway down, but they don't look like they're that articulated.
Well, it's not easy creating new animation. That's one of the most difficult things in Civ.
True.
And then you picked out something that I particularly like because I am a zombie fan and I have friends who have been zombies in movies. And
Wow.
this is pretty freaking awesome. We've got these
Nasty.
really, these guys are rotten.
These are by seZereth. He's got three different zombies he's made. And they're actually different models. One zombie is missing an arm. The others have the blue jeans. They've just got pants on. Well, except this guy he's wearing the white beater shirt.
It actually looks kind of like me.
And they look really nasty. They've got blood all over them.
They look like they've putrefied.
Yeah. They got a little bit pale green-like.
There's
to 'em.
blood smeared all over the screenshot too.
Yeah, that's a nice feature. And if you look down in the lower right-hand corner of the screenshot, does that zombie know Kung Fu? It's a Kung Fu zombie.
That's these zombies aren't just mindless; they actually have skills of kung. So they really fuck shit up bad.
Yeah, that would be so awesome. Zombies with Kung Fu.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe there needs to be
Someone
a new
should
zombie.
make a movie with that.
Yeah. So I was about to say a new zombie movie.
Kung Fu zombies. He pulls off his arm and throws it at you with a nunchuck.
Everybody was zombie fighting. They were as slow as putrefied.
I can understand Stan's no singing.
Yeah.
Oh, singing? Well, I break that freaking rule on a daily basis.
You see the zombie on the top left with that who's missing an arm?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then we have We have one more piece of artwork, a little less apocalyptic, less zombie-ific, but it is some more World War II units. But these are the anti-tank infantries, and no one's really released a crap load of them together yet. But here we have one. We've got a World War II. So looks like we got an American, and then a Russian. We even got an Arab.
British, French, Turkish.
Turkish.
Yeah, it's Chinese, Russian, French, British, American, and Turkish.
Sweet.
And these interesting Russian, I guess they're Soviet, he's got it on the Russian and the Chinese, this weird-looking anti-tank weapon, which I've never seen before, but it's got this big plate in the front of it. I mean, is this so you can, like...
Oh, that's like the German one. That's like a Panzer Shrek or something.
Really? That's not what a Panzer, a German... They have those Panzer...
They have the plate. They have the plate.
But they don't have that plate, no? They've got, like, a big thing that sticks out the front.
I've seen something with the plate before.
Well, I guess it's what the Soviets use, because he's putting it on all the Soviets and the Chinese, so...
Looks like there's a viewfinder between it as well. If you look at the top of the plate,
yeah, it's like
through it.
I think the idea is like you stick your head out, with the little plate protecting you, and you can look through the little thing and then shoot the tank. Which actually
not a bad idea.
Yeah, but it's weird. I've never seen one like that. All the others are armed with regular old-looking bazookas.
Yeah, but do you find it funny that the bazookas actually go through one of their shoulders?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Done that for everything. I think that's just part of how the anti-tank unit was modeled.
These are taken out of like a NIF viewer or the SNIF scope or something. These aren't in-game. When the anti-tank model and a lot of other models in Civ, there'll be one gun that's in the hand for gesturing and then one gun that's for the firing effect, and it floats through their body.
Now, when they're actually firing it, though, wouldn't it would be like slightly above their shoulder to be proper?
No, that's just there. It just floats there for some reason, that's just where it's saved in the graphics file. It pulls right out of their chest.
Excellent.
But when you replace that gun, you have to replace both of them.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Makes sense. What he's done here.
But these are pretty awesome, and I love how they have a lot of flavor. They have a lot of Civ flavor in them for their Russian and the Turkish, the Chinese. They're all kind of cool.
Yeah, no, the American, French, and British don't look all that different. I couldn't tell right off the bat which was which, except for like the little insignias on them. There's a little bit of coloration difference. So it looks like the British guys, the one on the upper right hand, his head is like, his face looks...
He's got a British face. He's like a British
Scroll
face.
Scroll down to post number 8. There's another screenshot of in-game activities.
Oh, okay, good.
Ah, yes, that's a nice screenshot.
Oh, they look good. See, I told you it doesn't float through their chest.
No, it sits above their shoulder, which is great.
Yeah,
and it looks like these guys fire their doggone anti-tank, and they don't have a secondary gun. They just shoot their bazookas at people.
Even at ranged combat, you mean? I mean, when they're...
Yeah, it looks like they're shooting bazookas at each other there.
Yeah, well, but they're both ranged units. So you're saying if they was attacked like by, I don't know, a maceman, would he shoot the anti-tank round at him?
No, he'd pull out his freaking knife and stab the maceman.
They're range units?
Whack him with the bazooka.
They're not military, melee units?
Well, you could hit someone with that bazooka. It'd be just as good as a maceman.
But you're not saying they're siege units?
Well, they could be siege units too, I suppose. Talk to Dale; he loves doing that.
Honestly, I've never played.
What are they in BTS? I mean, because these are just skins; they're not.
Oh, they get plus 100. They get plus 100 versus tanks. They have 14 defense. They're 14 armor. They're weak as shit. But when you go against a tank, they get plus 100. So they just shred tanks.
I think they also have a slight amount of anti-air interception ability, like 20%.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, maybe I'm thinking of the missile guys. These are a new BTS unit, so a lot of people aren't that familiar with it.
BTS added 2 anti-tanks, so there's only one. I don't remember.
I never played enough to remember.
Yeah, you need to play some BTS. It's a fun game.
Modding Spotlight, where we interview and talk about modders and what they do in the Civ community.
Now, so you're known in the forums as Rough High, and you work on something called the Bug Mod.
That's right. Bug standing for Beyond the Sword Unaltered Gameplay.
Okay.
Oh, I thought this was a Starship Troopers mod.
Yeah, I thought it was like you get to fight bugs, and you have a bug civilization, perhaps bug technologies.
Not quite. We get a lot of stick because people think we introduce bugs.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Any good mod, you have to have some bugs in it.
Well, bugs occur. I imagine you guys with your pretty extensive SDK modifications probably have nightmares of bugs popping up and system faults.
Now, if you're saying SDK, that's the DLL. We do not touch that.
Oh, okay. What do you guys do?
Ours is all Python with some graphics. We also get into the XML.
Oh, that's weird. I thought you guys did SDK. I didn't know.
Well, I mean, if you go into the SDK, then you're going to alter the gameplay, and that is basically off the table. A lot of the guys got together and we make the decision that we're just not going to touch the SDK.
Well, there could be things you could do in the SDK that wouldn't alter gameplay, like some of the things about how units are named and things like that. They wouldn't actually result in gameplay effects, but if you're not going to include your own DLL and no code, it makes it really easy to just say, oh, someone else has written this code, and this is the bug project, and wham, you put them together and there's never any conflict.
There's never any conflict, and also people can trust us. We say, we haven't even touched the DLL, there's no DLL in our download, and people say, okay, we're not trying to sneak anything in.
Now, what do you change then? So if you're doing Python, you're doing graphics, I'm guessing first off you have an interface change, right?
We have truckloads of interface changes. One of the core things of the bug project is that we want everything to be able to be disabled. So you can either put one of our changes in, or you can go back to the vanilla version of Beyond the Sword.
Oh, okay.
We radically overhauled the scoreboard. We put the glance screen back in. We actually made it prettier.
Ooh.
We've worked on the military advisor and added a new tab to the military advisor. We've done a lot of work in the city screen. So if you've just whipped something, you get a little counter telling you how much whip anger remains.
Oh, see, there's things that you just had to guess at where it was at. And now you can actually measure it out and micromanage it.
Yeah, you can see it up on the screen as opposed to finding out from hovering.
Yeah, or just there being a slave revolt or some crap like that.
Mm-hmm.
All the things we've added, you can actually find out from doing other things with the interface.
Well, now let me ask you this. You said you can enable or disable all these changes. Do you have to know XML to do that, or is it just a screen inside the options menu?
The guys from the Hall of Fame have a couple of tabs on the option menu. I looked at that and we thought that's a great idea, let's take that, but we actually created our own screen.
Oh.
You hit Control-Alt-O for options, and you get something like 7 or 8 tabs that come up, and you can fiddle to your heart's content.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen that. I thought it was a really slick way to get your features in there and make them easily adjusted by people.
Yeah.
Because people have done all kinds of other things to try to turn mods on and off. I've seen these systems where they use files outside of the game that are brought in by another editor and this, that, and the other, and you've got to kind of text edit the thing. And I can put a 0 here and a 1 there, and I know Lopez was really fond of those systems, but I never thought they were really that elegant. But this is much more so.
We stole the code from the Hall of Fame guys.
Oh, well, there you go. You guys get the credit you're due now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have to say, I have looked at a couple of the things you've done and actually found, some inspiration for some of my own Python work in colonization. Since you guys are the main source of Python modding out there for Civilization 4, when I was, starting here and I really only done a little Python, I was like, check out how you guys had done some things and found it useful. I mean, there's nothing like that's directly transferable because everything pretty much had to be made from scratch.
But you learned some of the methods and tricks that they use.
Yeah, definitely some of the tricks of how to loop through and alter things and whatnot.
Sweet. So inadvertently, they helped with colonization by helping the great holy intern.
Yep, inadvertently.
Should we provide bank details or something? Or?
That's not going to happen with Firaxis, buddy.
We're more than happy to provide some code and illustrations if you want to steal it. Just say where you got it from.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, tell us some more about the other people who work on the bug mod with you. I mean, are you the leader, technically? Is there a leader?
That's a good question. When Beyond the Sword came out, well, if you go back 3 or 4 sessions to when the vanilla Civ 4 came out, Alaram put together, and I'm probably butchering these names.
It's okay.
He put together a mod pack, which is his unaltered mod pack, and it was really designed for Succession game players. So it combined a lot of Succession game things like the logger and those sort of reminders and stuff like that. And his basic theme was unaltered gameplay. Then when Beyond the Sword came out, no, the middle one, Warlords came out, he wasn't around. People said, let's see if we can update this. And I came out with my cobbled mod pack for Warlords and cobbled mod pack for Vanilla. And then finally when Beyond the Sword came out, it seemed all these people that had generated unaltered mod packs were still around, and LRM came back at that stage. And we PM'd each other and said, let's not do our own mod packs, let's get together and do one big one. And we started that, and then a chap who lives out in California called Emperor Fool came along, and he really gave us a kick in the pants, got us going the right way with coding and everything.
Sweet.
And a lot of his code footprints are all through our mod pack. But yeah, we've brought in translators, so our mod pack is now translated to the 5 basic languages included in Civ 4. We've got help files that you can call up from in the game. It'll throw you out to Windows and call up I think it's an HTML web file, or it could be a CHM help file. But we've got, I think, 7, 8, 9 people.
9? That's a good team.
Yeah.
Pretty extensive.
And it comes and goes. Like, we get 3 or 4 weeks of all this activity going, and then you'll see 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks of nothing.
Oh, well, that's just the way it goes.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. What do you do in that thing we call real? We refer to it as real life. What do you do?
I work as a consultant.
That sounds beautiful.
I am, by training, I'm an actuary, and I work in the insurance field.
So can you give me, like, good deals on insurance?
I can tell you not to drive a red car.
Really? Why is that? Why run a red car?
They go faster. They cause more accidents.
Well, maybe it's just a person who would drive a red car is just a fucking retard. Because I would never drive a red car. Yeah, they're dead. I was like, look.
Yeah, they're daredevils.
You can't notice the blood of all the pedestrians I've run over.
They live dangerously.
Alright, that was just weird.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking at a page here with some stuff by Emperor Fool on the raw yields display, and it's like, wow, that's really sophisticated.
He added it over
very helpful
the last week or so. But if you look at the discussion, not in the particular thread that you're looking at, but we've had in our development thread a lot of discussions going backwards and forwards about what we should do here. Someone had a change to the city screen that showed not just the money coming in and out from trades, but also showed the commerce, and you could see the hammers and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Sevo, I think, who originally did that.
We were looking at that, and we thought, well, let's put on the hammers and the food, and we were taking up all the screen and leaving no room for buildings. And then we decided to collapse it all back into one thing and have toggles on the top.
Yeah, no, I'm not asleep.
Yeah. Toggles, it's the way to go when you got a lot of information to display.
Hey, Wouter, you need to wake up. I think you're asleep.
Well...
Oh, I thought I heard you snoring.
He always does this to you, Wouter.
And I always put him on the spot, too.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask earlier, but we sort of already moved on. You sort of just had an inspiration on the colonization, as Ken pointed out. Have you had any direct impact on Civ 4 itself? Has any of the bug stuff made it into Civ 4 patches or expansion packs?
Well, the bug mod, I mean, that's huge. But from a Firaxis Civ 4 point of view, I don't think any of our code has made it back. I put together the map that you guys talked about 3 or 4 weeks ago. No, that's a different thing. Ringworld, that didn't make it into the patch. But I worked on adding some options to the battleground. I added 3 options, and that made it into the 317 patch.
Okay, I thought there was some user interface stuff that had made it into BTS, but I guess I was wrong about that.
Not from the bug mod. The stuff we lifted had already been modded. You know, someone had created the mod, and that stuff had made it into BTS. Things like the old mods, which we've incorporated into our bug mod.
Oh, okay. I was confused about that.
Oh, so some of the old mods. That's, I guess I knew they had done some big-ass overhauls on the interface. They had gotten lazy before, and then they took some mods, and then they said, all of a sudden BTS came out with this great interface. Yeah,
which we've made a whole lot better.
And even before that...
The other thing we've been...
Go ahead.
I mean, Alarim spent quite a lot of time with the help file, and he lifted a whole lot of strategy guides from CFC, and dumped them into the help file in-game. So that you can bring up the strategies and read all about the strategies that you should be employing.
Oh, sweet.
That's a truckload of work.
I should read that now, because I suck at Civ. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Now, you said you added to the help files in-game with this? Like, so you go into there's a new tab there for strategy?
Yeah, we picked up the Serviopedia, and we added tabs to that.
Sweet. There needs to be more in the Civilopedia. That's one thing that you can find a lot of stuff in the Civilopedia, but when you don't find something, that's when you're like, grrr. That goes for you too, Kiehl, if you're listening.
So you were talking earlier that you're about to release a new version. Can you tell us what exactly is going to be in that version?
No. Okay, let me have an attempt. We're releasing 3.0 of the bug mod. It's currently in code freeze, which means we can only change the code if we find bugs, little b bugs.
So no adding new toys.
We can't add new features. The last release we did that, we tried to do that, and it was a little bit wobbly, if you know what I mean. So it's currently in code freeze. It'll probably be released in 1 or 2 weeks, and it's really to bring us up to 3.17 compatibility, full compatibility. If you looked at our prior code and you looked at the 3.17 changes, there was a handful of very minor changes. So technically we probably didn't need to do a new release, but we've added the military advisor, we added raw yields, we've tightened up a number of things. We keep on enhancing the logger, the succession game logger. It's hard to say what we've added over the last 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 or 3 months to actually hone it down to new features that we've added.
Wait, what patch is BTS at right now? Is that the new one or the one they've had for a while? Is there a new one out?
There's a new one out, Tony. Not everyone is a playtester.
When did this new one come out?
A week ago, 2 weeks ago.
2 or 3 weeks ago.
I did not even notice.
Goes to show how much you play this game, Tony.
Well, I haven't played in 2 or 3 weeks, actually. I've been busy modcasting. And I play shooting games. I shoot people.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you go online, you deserve to be pwned. That's my motto.
So is there a specific timeline for what you want to do in possible future versions of Bug beyond version 3?
Again, no, I think. I think different members of the team would have different ideas about this. But I'm thinking that we try and keep our eye on other activities that are going on. We've got a SourceForge page, and we keep track of suggestions. And I'm just looking at feature requests, so I'm just going to bring it up. Some of the things that people wanted to add. They seem pretty minor, but they want to. Actually, I can't find anything that's really good. Well, things like, someone put together new formations, the 5-man and the 10-man formations, and someone said, can you add that to Bug? Well, that...
So you can change it in-game?
I think that's a big graphical change, and it might even be the DLL related. We have a sister mod called BAT, B-A-T, for... I can't remember what it stands for.
BTS Altered?
Yeah.
Something or other. It's all graphics, and all of the civs have their own units, and all the fancy graphics that people have added, we throw into BAT. If you download Bug, it's like 3 or 4 megabytes. If you download BAT, it's like 150 megabytes. It's huge.
Oh, geez, that's a lot of graphics.
It's all the unit data.
All the graphics.
Yeah, that always eats up space.
The one where a great person comes up and you get a screen giving a bit of blurb on the great person.
Oh, you added that
I think
too?
that's in there.
Yeah, that's...
So you've got GeoModders stuff there for city tile sets.
What was that type? What type of tile sets?
Shut up, Tony.
We don't expand beyond the 21 tiles. But
no, I meant the way the cities look. The little buildings in the cities.
I don't know. I have to
style.
have a look at that.
And then the units, so it's like the Incas look different than like
all our units look different.
So every different civ has its own.
We had testers playing the game, and if we hadn't added a unit, they would just get a pink dot, and so their worker was a pink dot.
I hate pink dots. Goddamn pink dots.
Oh, here's one thing.
In colonization, those will actually be purple now.
Ooh, a new
Here's one thing that we were looking at adding. On the research bar, we've done quite a lot of work up on the top part of the screen. You've got the research bar. We've added in a Great General bar, so you can see how many XPs you need to get a Great General. We've also added a Great Persons bar.
Did you put my Great Person bar in there? Ooh,
Great Person. And so you can see, okay, it's London, you're going to get it in 5 turns, and there's 86% chance of it being an artist or something like that.
Well, I didn't put in the chances in there. I just put in where it was going to be.
If it's 100% chance that you're going to get a priest, it just says priest. But if there's variable, then you get information about which priest. But we're looking at the technology bar and trying to see whether we can put in multiple techs. So if you select 3 or 4 techs into the tech tree, Civ 4 will just happily go from one tech to the next to the next. But we would like the ability on the tech bar, the research bar, to say this is what you're currently teching, and by the way, you've selected to go A, B, and C as well.
Oh.
Just little things like that we're adding. I don't think there's any really big changes that we're looking at doing.
Now let me ask you this. There is a new expansion coming out for Civ 4, a standalone colonization expansion. What is the plans for the bug team to begin to work on perhaps that game and maybe fix that interface and add some of the multiplayer things you have?
That's a good question. And I'm going to leave it to the rest of the team. I know that if I got involved with it, I would have some serious real-world issues.
Oh, yeah, well, real world.
If you read between the lines, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Which means you're... What are you talking about?
Well, when did
his time is all used up, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when did Civ 4 came out? I've been playing this game and working on it for 2 years, and every now and then I say, okay, I'm not doing anything more.
And then you come back.
It never seems to stick. But if I don't buy an expansion pack, or if I don't buy colonization, it's going to be hard to work on.
You will be forever mired in the past.
It's going to be hard to work on it.
Call us if you have any feedback. In North America, the number is 301-637-7659. That's 301-637-POLY. In Europe, it's a UK number 44-121-288-7659. That's 44-121-288-POLY. You can Skype us at the PolyCast or email at polycast@apolyton.net.
The only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about.
For more information on ModCast, our sibling show PolyCast, or about PolyCast in general, log on to the series' official website at polycast.apolyton.net.
Alright, ModCast was recorded in front of a live studio
Consisting
audience.
of what? Tony's dog and Ken's cat?
I don't have a dog. Meow.
Yeah, my dog's here. My dog's here. Wants to say hello.
Yeah.
No, like Tony's screaming infant,
Yeah, he's already woken up.
It's several times, and you're just in the background, Let's go. Okay, Tony's,
So we definitely have a live studio audience. It's been a delicious episode. Delicious episode. I'm so happy that we could have Rough High on the episode. It's been excellent.
I've had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun. I think we went over so much good stuff. I cussed a lot this episode. Did you notice that I cussed a lot?
That much more.
Not more than normal. I think that's a good description.
I think when you edit it, you'll find 3 or 4 beeps.
I thought I did.
That message string is too much cuss.
Well, it's going to be filled with bleeps. Well, then let's just do it. Let's just all cuss a little bit. Goddamn shit ass bitch shit ass.
No, you gotta do your 7 deadly words. The 7.
Do it.
Your George Carlin tribute.
And every single one of them. Oh yeah, he's dead now. If you do them, I'm gonna have to bleep every single one of them over.
No, you have to do them.
I don't remember them. Oh, I do remember some of them, but yeah, it's pretty bad. It's some of the words I can't even say in front of my wife. Let's just put it that way. But today, we have been joined with Wouter, Locutus, Snijders,
Bye-bye.
Kenneth, Impaler, WRG Ferland.
Goodbye, cruel world.
And me, Tony GarretSidzaka Kiehl, goodbye, with special guest co-host Tim Rough High Rat.
See you guys.
All right. See you guys again in a couple weeks.
Record date July 6, 2008. Sound clips copyright Civilization 4 and the Warlords and Beyond the Sword expansion packs. Copyright 2008 Apolyton Civilization Site at Apolyton.net.